Another response video to Anekantavads, and that's exactly how I feel about it. Ugh, not again. It's all this just fake dichotomy between mumbo jumbo, wishful thinking, let's make something up, and logic. Like there's some kind of dichotomy here, right? Like there's some reason to trust what we wish the truth to be versus what, yeah, okay, acquisition of information tells us the truth is. Yeah. No dichotomy. One is absolute crap, and one is the only game in town. But he wishes to argue otherwise with the evidence of mumbo jumbo.
Logic, reason, dialectic, ethics, all these concepts that we've come up with.
I need more volume.
Are best seen, in my opinion, as tools. The best defense I've seen of them is, okay, our logic and reason has enabled us to launch moon missions, to cure horrible diseases.
Well, those are pretty good reasons right there, right? Pretty reliable, pretty functional in terms of, look, we've acquired knowledge. But yeah, those are just kind of, sorry, electrostatic filter is making a lot of noise. So, sorry, you'll have to deal with that. It's more a filter than this house should have, apparently. But anyway, it doesn't do any good anyway. It's just, whatever.
To heat frozen parts of the earth, like the part that I inhabit, or at least it's frozen 4 months of the year. It's enabled us to do all kinds of wonderful things.
Whatever. Wonderful things like skin animals and suck their blood and fry their organs and whatever. Yes. It's a tool. Yes. But, there's this, whenever you're going to set up this kind of dichotomous thing and you're going to sit there and ridicule something, or malign it, you have to show how the other thing, the other half of your dichotomy, has any integrity whatsoever. So if you're going to malign logic and rationality, then I guess you're going to have to sit there and show how wishful thinking and fantasy and lies and religion are just so fucking cool. And you're not going to do that. What good have they done? Oh yeah. War, Holocaust, nuclear bomb.
I agree. Our ethical system has at least put the idea into our heads that it's wrong to gratuitously harm other things.
Our ethical system has put it into our heads. So it wasn't like an acquisition of understanding. So unlike the other dumb animals, we became smart enough to figure out that the other things we're interacting with feel like we do, and they don't like having knife in their gut any more than we do. Oh, gee, how brilliant. I mean, really, I have to defend the I wasn't going to get angry. It was my plan not to allow this to make me angry. But this is just such a bogus way to argue anything. Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, it's just so, again, don't demonstrate how there's an alternative to looking at the facts we have acquired and seeing where they point. Versus what? The alternative is, oh, bigotry. Yeah, that's a good one. How do I feel about it? Oh yeah, that works really well. Shit.
That's great. I agree with that. But we've got to remember what...
Oh, you agree, so that's what makes it great. Oh, okay, yeah. It doesn't have anything to do with logic or reason or rationality or some other kind of durable and dependable way of judging whether something's good. We'll just ask the Pope, right? The Pope knows. So why don't we just go ask the Pope what the truth is, and he'll tell us what the truth is. No, I don't think so.
These things are logic and ethics and all this kind of thing, science even, are tools.
No, knowledge acquisition is what they are. Okay? I mean, you could call them tools. The scientific method maybe is a tool by its description as a way of making something credible. Oh yeah, the idea that you would have some group of people who were informed on the subject judge a new theory. Oh yeah, that sort of makes a little bit sense, that you would test something. That's what science basically says, is that you would actually test a proposition. Okay, that somebody would say this is red, and that you could test to see if it's red instead of just trusting the asshole. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So you're saying that's some sort of brilliant, maniacal even tool that's just owning us, or just being completely controlled by this idea that we should acquire information in some sort of sensible, reasonable way, rather than acquire information in some idiotic way where some fucktard says, I feel the presence of Jesus in my liver. He's in there now. He's talking to me. He's saying, you suck, sir. I mean, I should do that. I should listen to Jesus in my liver instead of doing science and acquiring knowledge and evidence. I shouldn't listen to the evidence. Fuck.
They're tools that we have created.
No, sorry, that's not how it works. It just really doesn't work that way. The idea that a jury of 12 good men are more likely, okay, to judge guilt or innocence than one bigoted asshole, okay, is not something we invented. It's a statistical proven fact that it works better. Okay, so these things, again, are tested. They're not just, oh, we made it up. No, we concluded based on the evidence because the thing ran better. It worked better. It functioned better. It passed a test that we established for it. Okay, and it proved itself more reliable, more dependable, more consistent. That's why it exists. It doesn't exist because we just invented it and said we declare logic important. No, logic proved itself important by being so much fucking better than wishful, made-up gobbledygook. Yes, cartoon reality got its ass fucking kicked by logic and reason and acquisition of knowledge. Okay, the relationship between the radius of a circle and its circumference. We didn't make that the fuck up. No, we discovered it. Stupid fuck.
Serve our purposes.
Liar.
And we can't assume that they are absolutes, because there are creations, there are tools.
Yeah, well, again, he's blending the two things. Do you see how he did that? Science is only a word that exists because there was such a thing as anti-science. We wouldn't even have the word science if there weren't liars and crooks and shitheads and stupid assholes telling us that they hear voices from their liver. If the fucking homeless, crazy loonies didn't exist, the fucking rational people wouldn't have to stand up and say, wait a minute, I'm doing something entirely different. I'm being reasonable. And I think we'll call being reasonable science. So how about that? Alright, that's why the word exists. But all science is acquisition of knowledge. It's acquisition of information. And you can do it the right way, or you can do it the fucktarded way. And all you're doing is maligning the only good game in town, and you're providing no explanation of what else there is. So you show me where else I should look, except in a scientist's face. Who else should I listen to, shithead? Who else? You, liar?
We have purposes for them. We've created science in order to
Again, see how he talks? We created science. Like, we created the fact that the world is round. We didn't discover it. We created the fact that gravity can be manipulated to allow you to travel longer distances by changing your direction without applying any extra energy. So you don't need extra energy to change your direction by using or applying the force of gravity. We imposed that reality on reality. We didn't discover the fucking truth. No, we made it up. Bullshit.
Prove our lives. We've created ethics.
Yeah, yes, we created the truths to improve our lives. We created the forces of gravity. We created them, and then we used them to fly to the moon, to get back home anyway, right? Going to the moon was easy. Getting back home was the tricky part. That's the part they had to figure out. That's what you need the scientists to do, was figure out how do you get home. And they did it. Okay, they didn't invent gravity to do it. They understood gravity to do it. Big fucking difference, slanderer. You lying cunt bastard. I mean, how dare you malign scientists from your ignorant fucking phantasmagorical pussy shit fucking position. You don't do any science, you don't talk any science, you don't understand any science, you just malign it from your fucking religious woo-woo bullshit position of, I don't like the goddamn truth, give me some other truth. You fucking weasel.
For that very reason.
Liar. Again, like I said, we did not invent gravity to fly to the moon. We understood it.
This doesn't mean that any of these things are real. A lot of people seem to think that logic, science, and all this kind of thing is real.
Yeah, right. That information is real, and that the relationship between radiuses and circumferences is real, but it's really not real. There's nothing that's real because, well, as soon as reality points to anything that means I have to fucking get off my fat ass and actually worry about anything or do anything about anything, well then, fuck that reality. I'm just gonna make it go away. I mean, this is such a fucking whitewasher. This is goddamn... Oh, it's more... Okay, no, it's just as insidious as religion, right? They invented God just again, to do the same exact goddamn thing. Everything about reality looks like absolutely fucking worm food, disgusting shit, so let's invent a goddamn fable to live by. Fuck.
And, I don't know, I guess that in my own weird way, I have my own explanation for that. I think it's, the conventional Prussian modeled educational system.
Oh, so it's the educational system that created this huge bias towards science, right? Sure. We see that all over the place, right? We have to get prayer. We have to pull prayer with the giant crowbars out of fucking goddamn schools. We have to pry it the fuck out of there. Okay, and you're going to talk about how the institution is just brainwashing us to believe, well, they're trying to make us believe 2 + 2 = 4. Ooh. I mean, look, you see, this is just disgusting. And you atheists put up with this fucking shit? This guy is talking about goddamn rational acquisition of information. He's saying the information, just doing it, just acquiring information is somehow you are being owned by it. Merely by acquiring it. Asking the question. Yeah, listen to everybody. Listen to the guy who says Jesus is in his liver. Go ahead, listen to him. Acquire the knowledge. Write it down. And also write down how many other things that fuck ass is right about, which is 0. And then you'll realize, oh, well, Jesus probably isn't in his liver either, because he's not right about anything else either.
We were all put through. We were just told that these things are absolutes, and that's the end of it. Well,
yeah, that's not what you're... Is that what happens? Is that how you understand that it happens? That you go to school and they just say, you evolved. There. You evolved on planet Earth. There. We're done now, right? Believe it. Brr. No. They show you the information. This is the information we've acquired through time. This is how men acquired it. They did this hard work. They they dug these bones out of the ground and they analyzed these soils, and then they took the rocks and they did this geology thing, and they understood that a meteor hit and it flipped the ground upside down, and they figured out all this stuff. They did all this hard work out in the dirt and the dust and everything else to acquire information for you. They did all this work to provide all this information. They put it in volumes and volumes and volumes and volumes and volumes of books for you to look at anytime you want to. You can look at any one of those books and see all the information and the chains of logic. And this asshole's talking like they're trying to lie to you. They're trying to trick you. They're trying to sell you a fake and a phony story, even though they've shown you every fucking ounce of it. Where's the guy who wrote the Bible? Where is he? Where's the documentation where that shit came from? Oh, that's right. It doesn't fucking exist.
They're just tools that we have.
No, you're a tool for the liars and the connivers and the shysters and the bullshitters. Yeah, keep selling lies to people, you fucking sadistic, caustic, cyanide-laced candy man. You're no better than some asshole who puts razor blades in goddamn apples. You're poisonous, malicious nonsense. Fucking selling hope and wishful thinking and selfishness. Fuck you.
And a lot of people say, well, look, if mathematics is just a figment of my imagination.
Yeah, well, yeah, and so science is the one doing the lying, and that's not just a fucking canard you just pulled right the fuck out of your ass. Oh, mathematics is just something we made up. That's already, everybody knows that, right? You all agree with me that we just made up the idea of two-ness or three-ness or four-ness. We didn't discover that idea. We made it the fuck up. There is no such thing as a two things. No fucking way. It's conceptually incoherent. No, it isn't. It's fundamental to the function of all matter in the universe. But let's ignore it. Oh, God, you fucking suck.
Why is it that we've been able to do so much with mathematics? I said, well, that's when we put mathematics to a specific use.
Oh, agenda math. Oh, so we should have agenda science. So science is okay when we apply it to our agenda. So we take the wishful thinking, wacky, horny, hungry, consumption-oriented, lunatic, asshole, monster animal, and we say, his agenda is cool, don't scrutinize that, okay? But make sure when he, and only use science to serve his agenda. Don't let the logic itself ever have an opinion. Don't let it ever say something like, when it gives you the nuclear power, say something like, well, be a little bit careful with this power because you can actually just, you know, theoretically you may be able to blow up the entire universe. So just be a little bit careful. No, shouldn't listen to that logic.
Is useful to us when we use it as a tool, when we are in control of it, when we have set parameters for it.
Yeah, whatever, right, to your convenience. The parameter of what is to my convenience. What is to my generation's convenience. What is to my sex's convenience. I mean, fuck you.
We maintain. We can go along.
We can.
Now, when the tool becomes an immutable fact.
Yeah, right. When we are obliged to be logically and intellectually consistent, when we are obliged to recognize things about every other biological organism on Earth and then pretend that it doesn't apply to us, or when we apply it to other mammals that we have 99.99% of commonality with, yes, when we apply a double standard and somehow bend and break the truth to see distinction where distinction doesn't exist, and apply inconsistent standards, when logic clearly shows that 2 plus 3 does not equal 4, okay, that you can't sit there and say 3 is a 2 because it's not a 2, alright, when there's a circumstance where your logical inconsistency is revealed, where when you do the variable math and you add it all up, you say the two sides of the equation don't add up. How can you care here and you don't care here when the circumstances indicate you should care twice as much over here if you were logically consistent? Oh, that's right. Don't let the fucking truth get in your way. That's all you're saying. Don't let the truth get in your way.
Or, as I say, it becomes a god or an idol or whatever you want to call it.
All right. So now again, this fucking insidious fucking weapon of these deniers of the truth, who will always try to malign science as a religion, malign information acquisition as a religion, even though it only exists as a word and as a concept because of its opposition to religious sources of information. And what does he offer as the alternative again? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
The relationship has changed. It's no longer something that we have created to serve us. When we say that logic...
Well, again, so he's calling all the information we've acquired, okay, as a tool we created to serve us. Is that how you look at it? That we acquired all this, all the scientists were just saying, what's my cut? No. Sorry. No. No. No.
And our ethical system have...
Our ethical system, again, what does that even mean? What the fuck does that even mean? Our. We're all, I have to take responsibility for every judgment made by the system is now my system or something? I didn't vote for it, to tell you the truth.
Goals in mind, and that these goals are sort of absolutes. We have become the servant of our tools.
Right, versus the servant to what? So give me the alternative. Give me the alternative to going with the logical, rational, information-based conclusion versus what? Wishful thinking? Fantasy fairy tailing? What? What? What's your alternative source of where we should derive our agenda? Oh, you mean your selfish desires? Oh, I see. Duh.
I don't think that we actually live our lives with this in mind. But just because we don't live our lives with this in mind, i.e. that logic and science are our servants, or our tools, it doesn't mean that we're not simply a victim of our own familiarity with these things and treating them as absolutes.
So one minute they're tools, next minute they're absolutes, blah, 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 blah. I think we're all capable of understanding where the lines are in most cases. I mean, there's some things that are kind of fuzzy, but we know the difference between theoretical physics and hard physics. We know the difference between, let's say, theories of, even in evolution or biological influences. I mean, you have all kind of psych biology, psych evolution, all kinds of theories that, you just going to be really hard to prove about what exactly was in the mix and what exactly was the compelling attribute that meant survival for one organism, or, success versus survival. I mean, we know what stuff is hard. Okay, you can write it down in rock. You can chisel it in a rock as a truth. And the stuff that, okay, this stuff is probably, this sentence might change a little bit. Come on. No one's saying science is, the information we have acquired is now without capacity of misinterpretation. All right, there are people like me who are going to argue, though, that we have acquired a lot of information, and the substance of it covers all the important questions. We know where we got it. We know how we got here. It's an evolving DNA molecule, and that the implications of that are known.
So, we have gotten to the point where we realize that a lot of the axioms that are underpinning everything, a lot of the premises, maxims, whatever you want to say.
Like what? Like evolution, right? So is that one of the ones on your list of silly notions? Overestimated, overappreciated informational conclusions?
Have flaws in them.
Like what?
Our ethical system has certain...
Well, what? Yeah, so this is more vague talk now. So science is flawed, ethics is flawed, therefore we can't trust anything, we can't know anything, we can't say anything. Bullshit.
Flaws in it. Our scientific system has certain flaws in it.
Well, why don't you point those out exactly? I mean, they haven't made too many mistakes lately, right? I mean, certainly capitalists have made mistakes applying the tools, again, like you say. But where exactly? I mean, there hasn't been like some huge reversal. You know, a huge reversal. When was the last huge reversal?
Now that doesn't mean that you take all of that and throw it all down the sink. What it means is you don't bow down before a flawed idol.
Okay, right. Bow down, bow down. So what is this bow downing? How would we be bowing down to science? Oh, you mean that we would say when the science indicates that we have this increase in carbon in the atmosphere, and that the increase in carbon will, you know, inevitably create a problem where there's more energy trapped in the atmosphere, and the atmosphere will heat up, and there'll be certain implications to that, and they can give you a whole computer model of what the implications of that are. Don't take that seriously. That's just mumbo jumbo. That's just bullshit. That's just got flaw written all over it. No, I don't think it does. But that's an agenda, right? That information is imposing because it's a truth you don't want to hear. That's all. That's the imposition, right? The imposition is it's an inconvenient truth, right? I'd love to bring Nietzsche back just to hit him with those words because that's all he was doing. Let's avoid the inconvenient truths with fucking convenient lies. And that's it. That's all you're doing. You're just a convenient liar.
It means that you see science and ethics and logic and reason and all this stuff.
Versus religion, right? What else is there? Okay, all this stuff, right? All the information gathering techniques that have some reliability, and we versus... Oh yeah, that's right, there isn't anything, there's nothing. I might as well go ask a slug than ask the Pope.
What they are, they're tools. It's a flawed tool, yes, but it'll work fairly well if you put it to the correct uses.
Well, again, there is no correct use beyond the fact that all it is information, and the information makes it capable of gathering more information. It's just information gathering. And you can do it two ways, the right way or the wrong way.
If you take your tools as solid facts, you run into all kinds of trouble.
So again, he's basically saying if you take your solid facts as solid facts, that's what he should just say. When you take your solid facts, your solid evidence as solid evidence, you get into trouble. Solid evidence is not solid evidence. Nobody's guilty, nobody did this, we can't figure anything out, don't drink the water, don't eat the food, don't do anything because we can't know anything. That's all he's saying here. Because he has to destroy all knowledge, because he has to fucking get to this idea that somehow his selfish agenda is somehow the truth. Fuck.
If you take logic as an immutable thing, as I say, when you...
Well, yeah, logic, you really can't do anything. You really can't say anything against logic, buddy. I mean, really. Really. If there is something that is Gandhi, the real Gandhi, like the not in any way flawed Gandhi, it's fucking logic. Logic is number one. Yes, logic is fucking God. That's right. It has nothing. Nothing is as high on the top of the cream pile than logic. That's just the truth, shithead. You're not going to come up with something better than logic. Nothing comes even close to getting even close to the highest, it's like the high jump. There's a point where all of a sudden you just say, no one's going to jump higher than that. It's just the way it is. Unless there's an 8-foot person or something, they're just not going to be able to jump higher than that. Nobody under 8 feet tall will ever jump higher than that. And logic has set that mark, and you're not going to get any better with anything else. Fuckhead.
Eliza, can you turn it into an island?
Fuckhead.
Some unforeseen consequences.
Oh, unforeseen, but he has seen them. I have seen them with my mystery power brainy head. Ooh, I have seen them. I have seen the unforeseen. Oh, where have we seen that before? Oh yeah, the guy with the Jesus in his liver.
Result.
Yeah, you are whacked.
Run into certain nihilistic conclusions.
Yeah, no, I think you're the one with the nihilistic conclusions that somehow your agenda, okay, manufactured by your stomach and penis, is a much more sensible agenda than anything a logical device could come up with. Fuck.
But not if you understand them. You understand your tools for what they are, that they are tools.
Well, again, information is just something I'm to use to my advantage. I'm to kill my enemies with it. I'm not supposed to figure out whether enemies is a proper psychological manifestation of my being. No, I'm just supposed to use it. I'm just supposed to use the tools to energize my hate and energize my bigotry and facilitate my acquisition of whatever bullshit kind of notion pops into my head. I'm not supposed to have any logical notions that, gee, I'm only one little individual and I shouldn't be making a huge fucking mess. No, that would be silly. Fuck, you suck.
Okay, let's say that I assume that time and space are not infinite, and that's one of the things upon which...
Totally irrelevant, right? I mean, it couldn't be more irrelevant to the fact of, well, we evolved on planet Earth, so whether time and space is made out of peanut butter or not just doesn't goddamn matter. What does it have to do with 4 billion years of living organism evolution on planet Earth? Oh yeah, it's not relevant at all.
Sure, science is more or less predicated. I assume that...
No, none of science is predicated on any goddamn worries whatsoever about time and space. It really isn't. It just says whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It goes forever. It goes for 4 feet. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with 99.99999% of any questions that science might provoke, that information acquisition might make you ponder.
They're not infinite, and then I discover that they are infinite, or that they might not even make sense as concepts at all.
Well, says you. Yeah, like I said, so he just made that up, right? He just made up some kind of notion that somehow everything is completely nonsensical somehow. I can make it all I'll just say it, that's right. I'll just say pens don't really exist, that they might not make sense at all, they might not be anything, they might be probes, something the aliens get, left over, they're really just anal probes.
Does that mean that my science doesn't work? No, it doesn't mean that electric lamp over there that I put on my face doesn't work. Of course it works. It works in the way that I expect it to work. I haven't established any fundamental realities here, however.
You haven't challenged anything either. Okay, so again, the fundamental realities are established by the fact that the lamp does work. Yes, there is an establishment over time of a proof, and the proof over time has been accomplished. The information that the lamp is based on, the knowledge that the lamp mechanics is based on, has been proven reliable. We have controlled the electricity, and we have manipulated it to create light.
All I've done is I've taken certain things for granted and ran with them, and the result was what I wanted.
Well, again, it wasn't you who did any of that shit. It was all these other guys who were scientists, like Einstein and Edison and All those guys did all the fucking work, and you just sit here and malign their work. From your ignorant, stupid, phantasmagorical, I'm going to destroy reality because I don't like it, bullshit position.
That's the proper relationship between us and our tools.
Again, us and the truth. When he says that, just replace it with the truth, okay? He's calling the truth a tool, and he thinks the proper relationship is for us to basically accept the truth when it's to our convenience and don't accept the truth when it's not. Call it a liar whenever you don't like what it says.
When I start saying that because I don't understand what time and space are, and I don't really understand what the fundamental nature of electricity is, that lamp doesn't work, or that lamp can't work, or whatever, that's when your tools have become gods.
Right. Did that make any sense? No, I'm sorry, I can't make any sense out of that at all. He just said when I say that thing doesn't work, or that science isn't reliable, that's when you become gods. And he's the one doubting the lamp, doubting what the science says is happening, what the information acquisition is pointing to. He's the one saying it doesn't work. He's the one saying it. It doesn't make any sense. You're the one obviously saying, as if it were a god. It says, here's the proof. You can look at the proof. Alright? It's all open source, okay? There's no secret conspiracies behind electricity. Okay? You can look at the source code. Go look at it, and then explain how it's not the truth.
We've got to understand what concepts are. Concepts exist here.
There we go. Okay, so that just says it, right? So we might as well just say, really, reality exists here. We make it up. We don't discover the truth. Science doesn't sit there and figure out the relationship between radiuses and circumferences. No, we make up the truth. That's all he's saying here. Okay? That these things don't exist in reality, that we acquire knowledge of them and symbolically represent them in an internal model of reality. That we create an internal model of reality with the intent, at least the honest ones among us, of having something that corresponds to the actual reality. And that we have the tools now, as he called them, we have enough knowledge now to build instruments and to even build logical tests to be able to analyze and see where our model fails to duplicate the reality, where there is an inconsistency, or an incongruity, or a hypocrisy, or an intellectual bit of dishonesty.
Own creations. There are our own tools that we put to certain tasks.
Again, so see, just really, do you atheists really think that's what science is?
We can't allow them to become our masters, otherwise.
Right, so he's just saying we can't allow the acquisition of knowledge to provide us with any information about whether we have rational goals or not. Do not allow information, okay, to grow, to be expanded upon. Do not manipulate or allow to multiply the information through logic. Do not allow the logic don't allow logic to be applied to the information we've acquired to any questions about human, okay, acquisition of its convenient comfort. If the logic is in some way going to put human convenient comfort in jeopardy as being a reasonable goal, then no, don't listen to the logic. Don't allow the truth and information to inform you that you're an asshole. He's just saying, don't allow information acquisition to inform you that you're a selfish fucking asswipe. No, don't do it. Okay, that would require you to have integrity and intellectual honesty, and you don't want to do that because you're scum, but you just never want to recognize it. be an honest jackass and just admit you're a selfish fuck who doesn't give a goddamn about anything but your selfish fuckery.
We fall for, or we become victims of, the flaws inherent in our own tool set.
Okay, versus the not flaws in our own desire set. So that's what he just said there. Science is flawed. It can make a boo-boo. But our desires are never flawed. They're perfect. Yes, because we acquired them through perfectly sensible Catholic indoctrination as a child or some other psychotic brutalization. And so those fucking perverted pedophile desires are perfectly legitimate. Okay, whereas that silly notion of right and wrong, well, fuck that. God, I hate this guy.
I like the quote from the original Star Trek series where Spock says,
Yeah, I wish you had the episode. I wish you gave me the episode for this.
computers make excellent servants master. Servants.
Yeah, servant's master. Yeah, another Freudian slip there. Oh, yeah, he has Spock being servant to Captain Kirk. Oh, yeah.
Master.
Yeah.
Computers make excellent servants, Captain. I have no desire to serve under them.
All right. And so, if we tested Spock, if I grabbed Spock by the ear, right, his little pointy fucking ear, and I grab him and pull him back to Vulcan to stand trial for that statement, how's he going to defend it? So that's all. Do me that favor, okay? Do me, you Klingon motherfucker, do me the favor of explaining exactly how Spock would defend that statement. Go ahead, show me any kind of logical. When I say to Spock, Mr. Spock, you've been quoted as saying you don't want to be owned by logic. Well, what exactly do you want to be owned by, shithead? If you're not going to ask the computer what the right answer is, who the fuck are you going to ask, jackass? What's Spock's answer, fuckhead? That's right, Spock made a boo-boo, okay? There's absolutely no point in fucking Spock saying there's anything better to be a slave to than the goddamn computer, because it's more reliable than your damn penis for fucking sure. I mean, this is just so... What would my penis say? Yeah, no. Is Spock really going to sit there in court and say, well, my emotional desires might be a better source of understanding of what I should do? No.
Logic, reason, dialectic, ethics, all these sorts of things do.
Well, I mean, they aren't the same thing. Ethics is a theory of value, and you can either have a logical theory or an illogical theory. So you can't just say ethics in the same category as logic. They're not the same thing. Logic is a function, ethics is a product. Come on. These are different things. You have to understand the difference between a product and a function.
Make excellent servants. We've created them, though. They're just things we've created to serve us.
Okay, there you go. So we acquired all this knowledge. Galileo, I could go right all the way down, all the way back to the Greeks. We acquire all this knowledge. We do all this analyzing. We do all this stuff. And all he's saying this is all shit we just made up. There's no such thing as information, and there's certainly no reliable information, because we need to invent heavens and gods and fables and bullshit. And if you have to live with those realities, those truths, well then the implication is you can't eat the animals, and you can't abuse your wife, and you can't do this, and you can't do that. That's right, the implication is you can't be intellectually honest and play this fucking feeding fest game, because there's no way to win it. Yeah, that's right. You'd have to acknowledge the fucking truth, and he just wants to evade that. So he'll slander God, he'll slander the truth, just simply for a convenient lie. To defend a convenient lie.
I don't really feel like serving under them, especially when we understand.
Yeah, I don't really feel I don't really think, fucker. Quit feeling and start thinking. If you're going to be a philosopher, then start thinking and quit with this I don't feel like it bullshit.
That all of them, or almost all of them, are fundamentally flawed.
Well, again, compared to what? Compared to what? Show me the thing you're comparing logic to. Please. And if it's a picture of the Pope or Buddha, you're fucking fail. Okay, enough of this shit. I mean, Buddha wouldn't even be that bad, just because at least Buddha was sort of information acquisition, and it's sort of open source. I mean, here's the story of discovery. I mean, the fire crap is just loopy-doop, but beyond that, I mean, the whole idea of death, informing you about what reality is. I think death was made up by Buddha. I don't think he really talked to death. I don't think he did. Yeah, I don't think he did. I think that was a lie. So I guess Buddha's a liar, which is kind of ironic.